Can you say definitively that you have not been intoxicated or absent during your tenure as FBI director?
I can say unequivocally that I never listen to the fake news mafia. And as when they get louder, it just means I'm doing my job. This FBI director has been on the job twice as many days as every director before me. What that means is I've taken half as many days off as those before me. What that means is I've taken a third less vacation than those before me.
So there's a few issues with that denial. First of all, you were asked a very specific thing. Have you been drunk on the job? And you said, yeah, I'll say this. I don't like you guys. That's not what I was asking at all. Are you drunk right now, Kash Patel? And then he said, he referred to himself in the modified third person there. Boy, this guy really is becoming Donald Trump. And also, I've taken half the days off that anyone else has. Okay, first of all, I don't believe that. You literally disappear. And second of all, I've heard that you're taking a lot of half days off the first half of the day when you're hungover because you're a drunk. That's my concern. And so he could have just said no. It was an easy question, as easy as Kristi Noem being asked if she was having an affair. And you'll note that she didn't answer it. He decided to go on the offense with his thing of any negative news is just the fake news mafia. And if I'm being attacked, it just means I'm doing my job. Yeah, no. I know all of that limp D stuff that Donald Trump has trained right-wingers to accept in lieu of the truth, but that means nothing to me. Are you a drunk? Are you drunk on the job? And the issue is, this isn't like one article from, I don't know, Mediaite. There are dozens of us. There are dozens of sources for that reporting. Now, maybe they all independently decided to lie about you. Maybe that's possible. You do suck as a human. I can imagine you leaving a train of people that would love to tank your reputation, but also it's possible that you're actually that person. I mean, look at what his photos are revealed. This dude's just constantly going out partying. Literally the most high profile thing you've done other than like bungling the Charlie Kirk investigation is flying to Italy to get drunk with hockey dudes. You are building up a public persona that pretty well matches the private one that's being leaked to the media. So no, I'm not gonna extend you much grace when your whole vibe is drunken idiot. So anyway, let's get to specifics. So he was asked about the incident where he was locked out of his computer and apparently freaked out and thought that he had been fired. Here he is being asked about that.
Just explain the computer login issue. You were not able to log into your lawsuit contends that you were not able to log into the system. What did you think after you were unable to log into the system?
Let's have a survey. How many of you people believe that's true? Hang on.
Did you communicate?
You asked the question, let me answer it.
No, let me. No. Did you communicate with anyone that you thought you were fired after you were unable to log into?
The problem with you and your report, don't cut me off. You asked the question.
Straightforward question.
The problem with you and your baseless reporting is that is an absolute lie. It was never said. It never happened. And I will serve in this administration as long as the president and the attorney general want me to do so. I was never locked out of my systems. Anybody who says it,
lawsuit says the opposite. Your lawsuit
anyone that says the opposite is lying. Thank you.
The lawsuit that you filed says that directly.
Man, stop. You're being extraordinarily rude. And I know maybe that's part of your profession, but please just stop. If you ask a question, he can answer it. And then wait, now you're interrupting me. Like just a little bit of respect, man. Just a tiny little bit. Try it sometime.
Yeah, like you're being so rude. You can see how you're stressing him out. But buddy, go take a shot. Relax a little bit. Okay. Yeah, no, that's nonsense. Look, at least I guess in that case, he did say that it was a lie. He denied that he had freaked out and thought that he'd been fired, which by the way, actually makes sense. If you couldn't log in, you should assume that Donald Trump has had you fired. That's how he actually does things. Little issue with him saying that it's all baseless. It is, as the reporter was trying to get through in the question, it's in Kash Patel's lawsuit. It says Director Patel had a routine technical problem logging into a government system, which was quickly fixed. Now they're spinning it as if it wasn't a big deal, but they're acknowledging that it happened there. So again, that is yet another fact in this that has been corroborated. And again, dozens of people were talking about this. In this particular case, he reached out to multiple people saying that he had been fired. Now, it sucks that they can't go on the record, and the reason they can't go on the record is they will immediately be fired. They will be blacklisted from government service for acknowledging a fact that the regime doesn't like. That's the concern. But they're not taking it seriously at all. They're not even pretending to. Todd Blanche has now had reporting from a credible outlet with dozens of sources that the head of the FBI is routinely drunk, can't be found, by the way, I should also remind everyone, has no qualifications whatsoever to be in this position, had never worked at the FBI before. And take a look at him responding to a question, making clear to you that he doesn't care how wasted this dude is.
Obviously, you've read the Atlantic article that's now a subject of a defamation lawsuit brought by.
I absolutely did not read that article.
The FBI director's on camera with the U.S. Olympic hockey team chugging a beer. I mean, do you think that that's appropriate conduct for the FBI director?
That has nothing to do with the article. I mean, look, there's complete hit pieces, and you guys are in this business, and you know what they look like, and the fact that you're asking repeated questions about them almost as an admission of such. But when you have a bunch of people who are hiding behind closed curtains, saying things but not willing to say it publicly, and there are certain parts of the article that are blatantly false because apparently I was told something that I wasn't.
Yeah, no, there's parts of the article that are blatantly false. The article I didn't read, but I'm sure that there are parts that are blatantly false. Also, him being like drunk on camera has nothing to do with an article that's about how he's always getting drunk. Okay, that makes tons of sense. You can't it's again dozens of sources for this, and they're anonymous, those Sharon. Because by the way, if like 10 of them were to come out publicly, then he'd take it very seriously. He wouldn't just immediately fire all of them and then go back to allowing Kash Patel to do whatever he wants. Sure. What do you think?
I think that it's remarkable that the FBI director has to be defended by the acting attorney general because a reporter's being rude, okay? He's right, it's a hit piece.
When your company is growing fast, damage control is essential, especially in order fulfillment. Before ShipStation, we'd spend hours tracking orders and following up with customers. Now our team has cut that time in half. With ShipStation, you can basically let your shipping go on autopilot because it's just that easy now. The problem is too many disconnected tools. ShipStation solves that problem. It's an intelligence-driven platform that brings order management, rate shopping, inventory returns, and analytics all into one place. Connect to over 200 sales channels, and instead of 5 to 7 confusing apps, you've got one command center. And here's the best feature. It compares rates from USPS, UPS, and FedEx, including your negotiated discounts, to find the best option for every order, with savings up to 90% off. Already have carrier rates? Bring them. Keep your discounts and add ShipStation's automation. Set up rules once and ShipStation picks the best carrier, finds the best rate, prints labels in bulk, and even sends tracking updates. Those tracking updates alone cut customer service inquiries by 12%. Plus, their returns management and analytics show you exactly what's coming back and where you can optimize. Try ShipStation free for 60 days with full access to all features, no credit card needed. Go to ShipStation.com and use code DAMAGE for 60 days for free. 60 days gives you plenty of time to see exactly how much time and money you're saving on every shipment. That's ShipStation.com, code DAMAGE. ShipStation.com, code DAMAGE.
And it's true, okay?
Yes.
Those are not mutually exclusive, okay? It's a hit piece because nobody likes him. He's not doing his job. He's not qualified. He's putting us in danger, and he just overall sucks. That part is true. If you're looking for the little bottles that are missing from your hotel room, they're in his bottom desk drawer, okay? The guy drinks all the time, okay? Opinion, don't sue me, okay? The guy is just incessant. As a bad, disgusting, vile person, okay? We're done protecting your girlfriend. We're done holding her hair back as she prays to the porcelain god. Get to step in and stop suing. And the only reason I believe that he wasn't actually fired, because originally I'm thinking he probably was fired, okay? You know how this administration works, and then somebody dialed it back or something. Not yet, they're not quite ready. The only reason I don't believe he was actually fired is because that would have leaked too.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, this is feeling like the frenzy around Pam Bondi, around Noam. Like maybe he lasts for like another year or whatever, or maybe he's fired tomorrow morning. And if that happens, who would be surprised at this point? He is a massive liability, and it's not like, man, he was doing really good until this Atlanta piece came out. He was already dogged by like using planes for personal travel so he can hang out with that Israeli spy that he's bagging or whatever. There was the going to Italy just so he could party with some dudes or whatever and live out some sort of fantasy there. There's the saying stuff about the ongoing investigations, including Charlie Kirk, that were totally not true. Either lying or he had no idea what was going on with the investigation. His travel making it so that other FBI agents need to literally drive cross country to get to places because he took their plane. He was already a mess. Oh my God, all this stuff about how seriously this guy takes the frickin' patches on his windbreaker. This guy was always a mess. Now we just have a better explanation as to why, because he's a drunken mess, allegedly.